Welcome to Pharma Stability Series. If you want to understand stability studies in a simple, practical, and regulatory-focused way, you are in the right place. In this video, we will break down a key stability topic step by step, including its scientific basis, regulatory importance, and common industry expectations. So let's get started.
Okay, so we've all seen them, right? That little expiry date printed on our medicine bottles. But what does that date actually mean? It's a topic that's surprisingly misunderstood, and not just by us, but sometimes even within the pharmaceutical industry itself. It really comes down to this one question, doesn't it? We've all been there, staring at a bottle of painkillers from a year ago, wondering, is this date a hard stop, or is it more of a guideline? The answer, as you're about to see, is way more scientific than you might think. So let's get into it. Here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll tackle what that date really is. Is it a guess or a guarantee? Then we'll dive into the actual science behind it. After that, we'll look at why it's about the whole product, not just the drug. And finally, we'll wrap up with what this all means for our safety. All right, let's jump right in and tackle the biggest myth head on. Is this date just some educated guess a company pulls out of thin air? This is where it gets really interesting. Most of us, we figure the expiry date is just a rough estimate, right? Or maybe a super conservative label they just slap on there for legal reasons. But the reality? It is so much more rigorous. It's a scientific conclusion. It's an evidence-based commitment from the company. And it's a claim that is absolutely backed by a ton of data. And this right here, this hits the nail on the head. That date isn't just for show. It is a promise. It's the manufacturer putting a stake in the ground and saying, we have the scientific proof that up to this exact date, this product is safe and it works exactly like it's supposed to. It's a claim they have to be ready to defend to regulators at a moment's notice. Okay, so if it's a claim they have to defend, how do they do it? Where does all this rock-solid evidence actually come from? Well, that's where we get into the cool part, the science of stability. The entire foundation for an expiry date is something called a stability study. Basically, this is where a company puts its product through the ringer to collect hard data, proving it stays effective and safe. Think of it like a boot camp for medicine. They'll put it in these special chambers with intense heat and humidity to simulate years of aging in just a matter of months. And when I say they test it, I mean they test for everything. They're checking the potency, the assay to make sure you're getting the exact right dose. They're hunting for any nasty byproducts that might form as the drug breaks down. They even check its dissolution, which is just a fancy way of saying how well it releases in your body to start working. Every single detail is tracked. But here's something most of us never even think about. That expiry date isn't just about the active ingredient, the chemical that actually does the work. No, it's about the entire product that you're holding in your hand. The thing is, it's a total package deal. The entire mix of ingredients has to stay stable. And the packaging? Oh, it's absolutely critical. A flimsy blister pack that lets in moisture could cause a pill to literally crumble. Oxygen sneaking in can attack the drug and make it less potent. It is all connected, from the pill itself to the bottle it comes in. And to prove this all works, time and time again, companies can't just test one perfect batch. Nope, they have to use data from at least 3 and usually more full-scale manufacturing runs. This shows that the expiry date is reliable and not just some fluke. It proves the whole process is solid and under control. So this brings us to the most important part. What does all this science and regulation actually mean for us, for the patient? Well, at its core, it's a commitment to safety. I love this quote because it shows you just how deep this all goes. Regulators aren't just looking for a simple pass or fail on today's test. They are digging into the data trends over time. So for instance, if a drug's potency is slowly but surely dropping, even if it's still in the acceptable range today, that downward trend might make regulators say, nope, we need a shorter shelf life. It's all about ensuring long-term confidence. And here's another really important distinction to make. The expiry date on your bottle is not the same as an internal retest date for a raw ingredient. That retest date is for the manufacturer's use. They can retest the material and, if it's still good, use it. But the expiry date on the medicine you buy, that is a final promise to you, the patient. It is not meant to be extended. So really, when you see a well-justified expiry date, what you're actually seeing is the end result of a powerful, robust scientific program. It's a sign of quality, it's a sign of control, and it shows a really deep understanding of the product. But on the flip side, a date that isn't backed by solid science isn't just bad practice. It's a huge risk. If an inspector finds a weak argument for an expiry date, it can uncover much bigger problems with a company's quality control, leading to some really serious trouble. So the next time you look at that date on a medicine bottle, I hope you'll see more than just a bunch of numbers. Hopefully, you'll see a scientific promise, one that's backed by years of data, intense testing, and a regulatory commitment to keeping you safe. It's not just a suggestion, it's a guarantee.
If this helped, like and subscribe.